Welcome to Club Shada episode 355. I hope everybody's doing great. I hope you're having a great time and you had a great weekend. I just came back from the beach. So I didn't swim. It's only 17 degrees Celsius here in Lisbon, Portugal. But I was at the beach with some friends. It was cool. I hope everybody's in the best spirits like I am. First of all, don't forget to leave a like, depending on the platform that you are watching on. I was trying to go live on Instagram as well, but of course, Instagram had to make it complicated. That is some stupid Instagram stuff. Anyway, we are live on X, YouTube, and Facebook. So everybody, I have an advice for Facebook regarding Instagram Live. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel. If we have a Facebook page where we can stream on, just make it so that whatever is going to the Facebook page is also going to Instagram, but in vertical. And that's it, done. That's it. No need to do extra work. It's the same platform anyway. But hey, listen, whatever. Everybody put the flag of where you're watching from in the chat so we can see where you guys are. And this show is brought to you by Shada, where Gods of Good Fortune. Thanks to our stream royalty for the month of February. Her name is Leah with a donation of $5.45. And of course, if you want to become the stream royalty, all you have to do is donate more than that on YouTube via the super chat feature, and all my stuff is everywhere. It's a mess on my desk, but it is what it is. I was just trying to understand this Instagram stuff. I don't understand why they make it so complicated. And listen, something interesting happened today. I post some funny stuff on Instagram. Usually, no issues. Most of the time, it's stuff that's already on the platform, that the platform is actually sending me all the time, and I just use a feature they have called remixing or sequencing, where you just record a video after that with your commentary. Been very successful, etc. And I received a video on WhatsApp in one of the groups that I follow, and I was like, whoa, that's funny. So I posted that video today around 3 p.m. I posted that video. So because I was not using directly Instagram, I just recorded my commentary. After I post that video and I put my commentary after. Edit everything in Instagram, upload, and listen, it's AI because it's not somebody that checked it, right? Soon as I posted, I was just posting. All of a sudden, I received a message from AI on Instagram telling me that my video is against their rule on sexual content. And I'm like, what? It was some joke that somebody did, and I just put my comment. Had nothing to do with sexual content. And all of a sudden, I'm locked out of my Instagram the whole day. And so I went to one of my other Instagram accounts, and I could still see my account. Everything was good. I could not just post anything, see anything, And then it's only when I got back from the beach, then that I went to the Instagram on the computer, and that's when he told me, I got a message telling me that, I posted some sexual content, and I was like, no, I didn't. And then, do you want to appeal? I said, yes, I want. And then they was like, AI discovered that your content is against sexual violence. It was like, What are you talking about? So I sent them I told them, you wrong, you need to review the thing. And I was like, I just posted a joke, so it has nothing to do with whatever you're talking about. And then only after that I had back my access to Instagram, and they said that they will review. So probably somebody will check it to see if and realize that no, there was no problem with it, hopefully. And yeah, only then I will maybe the content will come back. Oh, and listen, I had the funniest email. Listen, the funniest email I've ever seen from Instagram. George Michael passed in 2016. So I posted a 1-minute clip of one of his song, and I wrote, "Rest in peace, George Michael." And I think a year or two later, I received a copyright claim on Instagram from Sony or Universal, I don't remember. And they take down my post. And I'm like, huh? So I go and I'm like, yo, it's a tribute to an artist. And they say, we'll get back to you. And then I never heard from them again. And I was like, listen, you cannot even tribute an artist. And this morning, 4th of February, 2024, I received a message from Instagram telling me, hey, your content is back on the platform. Yeah, you win your appeal. I was like, whoa, took you 5 years? These people make no damn sense. That's all I can tell you. Everybody that's watching, listen, I hope you put your likes. That's the first thing. The second thing, I ask you to put the flag of where you're watching from, and only Matze, the Ape Royal, put the flag of Austria. Big up Matze. I don't know if that's how you say it, but never been to Austria. Here's another place I should go visit. All right. Listen, today I want to talk to you about the music food chain. So listen, when I talk about things, I don't have notes. I'm just gonna freestyle, right? And then as I go, if you have questions, you make sure that you ask them in the chat. So, and by the way, Matze, listen, you want to see a preview of what I'm doing? Wait. Before we start with, let me show you a preview. Let me show you a preview of I just started. So look at this. Airdropping soon. So now I have to do the t-shirts, the accessories, the glasses, the everything else. But I'm airdropping this soon, very soon. Just get ready. All right. Now, let's talk about the music Malcolm Beats. Listen, Malcolm Beats, should we tell them that we have an album coming where you produce half of the tracks? Muna's Music watching from Mozambique. I have a new album coming March 1st. So get ready. I'm gonna do an album every 6 months now. I'm having fun, a lot of fun. So yeah, listen, get ready for the new album. It's called Diaspora Deluxe, and it's coming March 1st. But I'll talk about this soon. I'm also gonna do a listening party for my brand new instrumental album that just came out called Little Engine Bar. You can go check it out in the platforms. As always, let me close some of the things that I have here on my desktop that are taking a lot of space and taking away my concentration. All right. So what was I saying? The food chain. I want to listen. There's something I realized about what is going on YouTube. Oh, it's not YouTube. Everything is fine. Good. You who's watching on Facebook, say yes. Just say yes in the chat if everything is fine for you. Are you fine? Just say yes in the chat. You who's watching on YouTube, just say hello in the chat. All right. Let's talk about the music food chain so that people understand. Listen, I don't know if I want to start from the artist or if I want to start from the labels. But anyway, Urban Sweet Spot, what up? Listen, I had a question for you, Urban Sweet Spot. What was it? I was on your YouTube channel and I was watching a video about some it was some lo-fi Afrobeat, something like that. I don't remember. And then I asked myself, does he, because I don't even know if you're a man or a girl, does she has these music that are played on YouTube? Are they on Spotify and the platforms? Compilations? I was asking myself. So, yeah. Hello. All right. Let's talk about the music food chain. And as an artist or as a producer or as a creator or as an investor, you can understand then how to make money, and not just how to make money, but all the places where you make money with your music. So listen, any question, go ahead. So without any notes, I'm gonna also tell you that how I know all this is because I am part of every single part, and I changed hats a lot in the last 30 years. So in the music food chain, you have, I would divide it in 2 to 3 categories. The first would be the creation part. And the second part would be maybe the investment and the investment part. Third part would be the intellectual rights part. And then maybe we can finish with the distribution part. So that's 4 parts. Even if like the first 2 could go together. Anyway. All right. So to understand the food chain, you have to be able to ask yourself where do you fit in? As a creator, as an investor, as a mean of production, or as a person who protects this? And me personally, I've been in everything. So I know how everything works. So first of all, you have the creator, right? So you have, in terms of creators, you have the writers, the composers, the producers, and you have the singers, the rappers, the vocalists, right? And then you have a bunch of other instrumentalists, right? And for every single one of them, there are tools, rights, and ways to protect the parts you play in one song. Something that people have to understand is that in technical and professional jargon, we call a song a work. So when you write a song with a friend or producer and you put the song in music and lyrics, this is a work. Now, so the first part of the food chain, in my opinion, is the creators, right? And the creators are the heart of, or the blood of the whole system. If there's no creation, there's nothing to listen to, right? So as a creators, you are divided in two groups. Master Electronic, what up? As a creator, you are divided in two groups. You have the producers and the musicians, and then you have the writers and singers. So let's start with the writers and singers. The writers and singers, well, they write songs and they sing the songs. So the writer and singer can be the same person. Like me, for example. I write probably 99.9% of my songs, and but I also write for other people. So if you are a singer, it means that your voice is what is fixated on the instrumental, on the recording. If you are a writer, then you wrote what the singer is singing. Now, your tool as a singer is your voice, and your tool as a writer is your pen. Now you have coexisting with these, you have the composers and the producers. Why the composers and the producers are not the same thing is because, why is this AC not turning on? I'm hot. There you go. Why the composers and the producers are not the same thing is because there's a difference between producing, which is building, I would say. If you take it in terms of architecture, right? The builders, the people who will put the bricks and build the house, are not the people most of the time who build the plans, who did the architecture. So the architect would be the composers, and the builders are the producers. And a lot of times the producers and the composers is the same person. But there's also a lot of times where you just produce, but you didn't compose, right? So let's say Malcolm Beats, for example, he's a producer, but he's also a composer, because the melodies that he produced, he does them himself, and he plays his drum himself. But you could have somebody that has the melody in their head, and they don't have, they don't know how to produce, so they don't touch the machines. To give you an example, for example, if you take an artist like Nichols, a friend of mine, he produced a lot of songs, but actually he composed a lot of songs. Who produced the song for him was Thierry Dumergue or Ali Angel. And Nichols would be like, "Nah, do like this." Ding, 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 ding. And the guy would like, "Do, do, 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 do." And so you compose, you say your idea, and the other one is playing or programming for you. You can also have, for example, Jean-Sébastien Bach or Mozart or Debussy, the classical writers. They're not touching the violins or the piano. They just hear, and they hear the music in their head, and they write it in a partition, and then after that they go find an orchestra, and the orchestra plays the music for them. So they compose, but the orchestra plays the music. So when you record those songs, the producer is the person who will organize everything so that your composition becomes an instrumental that somebody can sing on. So in our world of home studios and people that do everything by themselves, usually the producer and the composer are the same person. But it's completely possible that it's not the same person. Let's say Muna's music is in Mozambique, and I send them 4 bars with chords. And I say, "Listen, those are chords that I did. I need you to finish this." So I'm composing my track. I compose my chords, and I don't want to produce the song. And I tell them, "Hey, go and finish." So they take my chords. I send them maybe by MIDI. They take my chords and they play a bass line. They put some guitars. They put some rhythm, and then they produce on top of my composition. And maybe because they add some composition, they add some things, some notes, they turn it into a full song. Maybe we share the composition, right? So they become the producers, or we can be co-producers. If I add some stuff, I program some stuff. But if I was not a producer and let's say I just know how to play piano, and I send them my idea as a demo on piano, and then they produce the song, they become the producers and I'm the composer. So then, or we can be the co-composers. So then all this is people arrange themselves, they decide how to do it. So that's the creation part of the food chain. If everybody is still following me and are interested, loving the conversation, put some rainbows in the chat, and of course, make sure you ask any question you have, if you do have any question. I'm seeing something. Give me a second as I'm just logging in something quick. Then we're going to talk about how all these people protect themselves, because that's important. All right. Where was I? All right, cool. All right, where was I? Yeah, production. Now you have, so once the producers, composers, and the writers and singers find themselves together and they have a great song that they did in their home or wherever they were inspired, they now need to fixate. So back in the days, it used to be on a music studio. So you need to fixate your recordings on a tape. But nowadays everything is digital, so you fixate it on a digital medium, but it's more or less it's not the same thing, but you just record, right? So you need usually a studio to record your music. And back in the days, you had no choice. You had to be in the studio because not a lot of people had studios in their home. Nowadays, everybody has a studio in their house, and that would be a show that I will do about the death of the studio. But back in the days, a studio session would cost €1,000 for, I think, 6 hours, depending on the studio. And then if you really wanted to record like for 24 hours, you would have to pay 5,000 to 6,000 euros for 24 hours. It would be called a lockdown or a lockout. So maybe you take like the studio for 1 week, and 24/7 you have engineers that are here. You stay in the studio, you sleep in the studio, you bring chicks in the studio, like when you eat in the studio. It was crazy, and it cost so much money that you would need investors. So what about the studio? Before we talk about the price of the studio and the investor, right? What is a music studio? A music studio is a place where you can have instruments. So you can maybe you have just the idea of what you wanna sing. You don't have a good microphone like mine to record, and you might just have and you might not have good synthesizers and instruments to really make your sound professional with somebody who's recording it in a professional way and they know what they're doing, an engineer, which is another part of the food chain. What you would do is you would need a studio that has all this. So back in Paris, we had big studios with like everything: guitars, drums, synthesizers, all the new synthesizers, and then big tables when you mix and record, etc. And these places would cost a lot of money. So you would need an investor, right? So the studio is the place where you can create and finish your tracks and make them sound professional back in the days, and mix them. So you need an engineer, which is somebody who does that, record you, and sometimes the recording engineer is also the mix engineer. But most of the time, the person who records and the person who mix are two different people. Back when we used to record Sumia's album, for example, we had somebody, Tony Rosa, who would come and record every song. So Eligio's album, Sumia's album, ABG, he would record a track, and then you had another guy, Bruno Kenke, who would come and he would mix every song. And then after that, I replaced both of them by me, because I learned to record by myself and I learned to mix. So I was like, bye guys, save money, sushi raw. So because studio would cost so much money back in the days, before the technology helped us have recording studios, you then had to have enough money to be able to pay your studio, pay the recording, pay the mastering, pay all that stuff. And what we had was record labels. They were the only ones that had enough money so you had independent record labels like Sushi Raw, and then you had medium record label, and then you had the major labels, the big ones, so Universal, Sony, BMG, Chrysalis, Epic, etc., etc. And Warner, all these would have enough money, and sometimes they even had their own studios, and they would say, okay, to record your album of, I would say, to record your album of 15 songs, you're gonna have to do 1 month in the studio. If 1 month in the studio is, let's say, we block the studio for 5,000 a day, or let's say they do a deal with you because we take a whole month. So we do 3,000 euros multiplied by 31 days. So that's 100K, more or less, 93,000 plus paying the engineer, paying this, paying that, your taxi. Let's say I'm gonna spend 100,000 euros to be able to pay for your studio and invest in you. That's the record label would do that. They would sign a contract with you when you belong to them for maybe the next 5 to 7 years, and your music that you will record, because they will pay for it, it belongs to them too. And maybe you owe them 3 albums, so that maybe they invest in you, they invest in your promotion, they invest in making you become whoever you're going to become, but you have to give them at least 3 albums because they're not investing for you so you can go to the next label when you're famous. So they want to do at least 3 albums, and they have the option for the next 3 albums or the next contract. They have the right to, if you don't have a better proposal, they have the right to try to give you a better proposal when it's the end of your contract. So usually these type of deals, they used to be 5 years or 7 years plus an option, and usually 3 albums. So they engage that they will invest enough money so that you could do 3 albums, and you cannot, after you do your first album and you become famous, or if you become famous, you cannot go to another record label. You're stuck there for 3 albums. So that was the deals that would do. In exchange, they would invest, and because they are the ones who invest, they're also the one who make most of the money because they are recuperating the money they invest. So most of the time when they spend like 100K, they don't tell you, hey, we're just spending 100K. Most of the time they're going to give you an advance. I mean, it depends. Sometimes what they invest in the studio is the advance. Sometimes they say, don't worry, we're investing the money and we'll give you, let's say, 50,000 euros. I got less than that. At the time, it was worth a lot of money because it was in francs, but I got the equivalent today of 15,000 euros. But back when it was francs, it was worth way more money. It was probably worth around 50,000 euros, but it was 15,000 euros. And that money was an advance, meaning that every time they will make 100 euros, and they're supposed to give you 10%, right? This is your share from the sales. These 10%, before they give it to you, they have to get the amount of money that they give you as an advance first. So let's say you take an advance of 10,000 euros. Before you make any money, they have to make 100,000 euros. Because when they make 100,000 euros, they're supposed to give you 10%. But if you took an advance of 10,000, then when they make 100,000, they will tell you, okay, we were supposed to give you 10,000, but because we gave you an advance, the 10,000 here are paying back your advance. And now if you want to start making money, you have to make 100,000 euros and 1 euro so you can get your first 10 cents. So let's say you had an advance of 10,000 euros. If you want to make 10,000 euros from your album, you need to sell the equivalent of 200,000 actually, because you have to repay your advance and then you make money. So it's like a bank in reality. A label is like a big bank with people that back in the days their job was to scoot the A&R. They would have to look for who's the hot artist. So they would send people to shows, and these people would come and they would see you. They would come to your show, and then they would be like, yo, listen, do you want to sign? Like, listen, we would love to invest in you, etc., etc. That's how people found me actually. Or you could send your demos to, so we record a demo in a small studio, invest in that, record it in a cassette, and then send the cassette to all the record labels, and maybe an A&R would listen to it and be like, this is nice, hey, come to my office this day. So I used to go to the offices all the time. And then actually I got found in South America finally when I was working for Tanya Saval. That's how the CEO of her label came to listen to what I did for her album Secret, where I work on 7 or 8 tracks. And then that's when he heard some of my song and he was like, yo, I want to sign you. And that's how I got and that's how the adventure started with Dominique Rousseau and Globe Music. That was part of Sony. So now you have the people who need to finance. So that's a part of the ecosystem. Let me look at who's here. What up, Tome? I hope everybody's good. I hope you're good, sorry. Qui sing, tu as sorti un album d'instrumental. Oui, c'est un produit fini. So, Giovanna, oi, tudo bem? So, let's continue. If you have any question, don't hesitate about the music industry. And if you are enjoying this conversation, make sure you put some rainbows in the chat. Now, the next part of the ecosystem is, once you have somebody that invests in your songs and that are willing to help you create a finished product, then you need the promotion part and the exposition, I said, to the public via the radio, the streaming services, the television, and the internet, etc. So normally record labels have people that are they have promo teams, or you can also hire external people to promote, PR firms or PR people that what they do is, they send emails, or they call their friends who work at magazines, and they try to have you interviews. They try to have you interview at a TV, interview at the radio, interview in magazines, etc., etc. And then, and of course, you have to do a music video, which is your song with images. And for this, you need to hire a production company that makes music videos, right? So this is another investment that the record label will do for you. So this is another part of the food chain where they will create, they will propose you a scenario or of your song, and then it can be you with people dancing, or maybe a small movie or something. It all depends. And maybe you have an idea of what you want to do, etc., etc. So you need to have a director, somebody that films, etc. That's a whole other ecosystem, but they're part of the food chain of music. And this is important too. And once you have your music video, after that, you are supposed to send it to the TV stations, put it on YouTube as well, so that the most people can view them. And if they like the video, or if Trace TV, MTV, and all the music channels in the world, there's a lot of channel, start playing your song. After that, the people who love the song will go and they will either buy the song, or they will either they will buy it or not, or they will stream it. Who knows? So that's a part of the ecosystem. And then after that, your music playing on TV, on radio, or on streaming service will generate money. And I think there's a lot of things that people don't realize when it comes to that money that is generated, is that I'm not talking about remixes, but when we talk about original tracks, as I was telling you at the beginning of this conversation, your tracks or your songs are called a work, and every work is divided between the publishers. So I didn't talk about the publishers, but they are also part of the food chain. So what a publisher is somebody that is willing to give you an advance, so more money. So you can have an advance from the label, and you can also have an advance from the publisher. The publisher and the label can be the same. So for me, for example, I was signed to Sony Music, but I was also published by Sony ATV. That belonged to Michael Jackson. So the thing is, you could also be signed to Universal Music Group and have your publishing with Warner or with Sushiro or with Classic. It can be two different companies, it can be the same company. Now, what's the difference between the publisher and the label? The publisher is taking care of the protection of your songs, and they can also give you an advance, hoping that when your songs play on the radio, they will make money from your plays, and recuperate their advance, of course, before you start getting money from your publishing. Now, you have big publishers, so of course Sony, Universal, Warner, etc., and then you have independent producers like me, Sushi Raw, like other people, etc. The only difference is the publisher don't pay for your music studio, and sometimes you might be signed to a publisher before you sign to a record label. It all depends. Now, a publisher is not your label, but their goal is to maximize the revenue from your intellectual rights. So the intellectual rights is, as I was telling you in the beginning, the composers and the writers. Those are the intellectual owners of a song. So a song is divided like this: writer, composer, or writers, composers, and publishers. So every writer can have their own publisher. So let's say I do an instrumental with Malcolm Beats, and Tome and Master Electronic write the song. Master Electronic writes the chorus, Tome writes the verse, I make the piano melodies, Malcolm Beats make the beats and the bass, and I mix everything, and we call Vandame to record the song, for example. So here, the writers are Tome and Master. The composers are me and Malcolm Beats. The publishers can be one person, could be Sushiro, for example. So my part is published by Sushiro because I have a contract with my own company. So 25% let's say that we split the song in four. So it's going to be 25% for me, 25 for Malcolm Beats, 25 for Tomei, 25 for Master. Now, if I have a publisher, I'm sharing half of my publishing with my publisher. So now my part is 12.5 and Sushi Raw has 12.5. So that's 25. Let's say Malcolm Beats doesn't have a publisher, or let's say Malcolm Beats is also part of Sushi Raw Publishing, for example, right? Let's say Malcolm Beats is part of Sushi Raw Publishing for this song. And so Malcolm Beats take 12.5, Sushi Raw take 12.5. So now you have 25 for Sushi Raw, 12 and 12 for me and Malcolm Beats, 12.5. And then let's say Tomei is signed on publishing to Sony Music. So Sony Music takes 12.5, Tomei takes 12.5. And Master Electronic is signed to Cobalt Music Publishing. So Cobalt takes 12.5, Master Electronic takes 12.5. The total of everything is 8 times 12.5, which is 100%. So the work is now, whenever it plays on the radio, it plays in a store, it plays in a club, it plays in a concert, it plays in a movie. This is going to generate publishing money. And let's say, and then it's going to be collected by right collecting societies. So right collecting societies are SPA in Portugal, SACEM in France, BMI and ASCAP in the US, SOCAN in Canada. I forgot the name of the one in South Africa. There's one in every country. And PRS in the UK, etc., etc. GEMA in Spain, I think. I'm not sure. Listen, every country has one, and they are all connected by the CSAC, which is the Central Worldwide Copyright Society, and then all of them, they all have writers and composers who are connected, right? And then once a song is played, let's say in Paris on Energy Radio, it generates, let's say it plays like 10 times in one day in a big radio station. So let's say the song generates 100 euros. These 100 euros are paid by the radio to SACEM. SACEM receive the name of the song that they play, plus an ISRC code. So what is ISRC? I'm sorry, I used to say it in French. ISRC code. This code is a code for your song. So every song has one IRSC. Every single song. And every song also has ISWC code, which is the composition code, right? So let's say you play Something Going On by Kaysha, and let's say the writers are Master, Kaysha, Malcolm, and Tomei. So every time this song plays, the radio just say, okay, today we play this song, this song, this song. They send money to SACEM in France. SACEM receives the money. They look, okay, we have 100 for Something Going On, and now in their database they know that the writers for Something Going On are us four, and the publisher are Sushi Raw, Cobalt, and Warner. So what they do, they divide in all the publishers and writers and composers, and everybody receive their money directly in the bank account. So if you are like me and Malcolm, you are not part of SACEM, but you are part of the Portuguese company called SPA. So the SACEM, they send the money to the central database of CSAC, and CSAC says, oh, this IPI, which is a writer number, everybody has one. Oh, these guy, Malcolm Beats and Kaysha, These people, they are in the Portuguese company. So your my 12.5 euros and his 12.5 euros travel from France. They arrive in the SPA, and the SPA send us the money, and that's how our money arrives in our bank accounts, and usually you are paid every 3 months. So that every quarter they tell you, hey, listen, your song played X amount of time here. So let me, to give you an example, I'm gonna give you an example. I'm not gonna show you the documents because I don't know if I have the right to, but I think I have. The PDF from my last. I don't have them. Like, wait. Let me check my email so I can explain to you. I'm just gonna read some stuff to you because I don't want to show you, but. So what's the Portuguese society? It's SPA. So SPA means Sociedade Portuguesa de Autores. So Portuguese Society of Authors. SACEM means Société des auteurs et compositeurs et éditeurs de musique. So Society of Writers, Composers, and Publishers of Music. So, for example, let me see, SPA, there you go. All right. So when I receive my SPA, I also receive a bunch of files like this. I'm not gonna open them because I don't know if I can, but I receive a file like this, and these files tell me exactly what was played where, etc. So let me read one for you, just for you to understand how it looks. So for example, what was that? Was that my AC? Oh no, it's my diffuser. All right. Let me see what I can check. So for example, all right. Here's a distribution of money coming from outside. So it says I got 3,469 euros. And then you have the list of all the songs. So for example, in this one, it tells me that I got a track from Les DS called À quoi tu penses, where the composer is Edouard Mokolo, that's me, and my part of the song is 33%. And I got like 1 cent from this one. I got a track, an instrumental called Afro Grooves that played on Trace TV all the time. This one has 9 cents. I got a song with Eligio called After Party where I have 50% because I'm the composer. This one made me €1. And this one, another track from Les DS made me 1.64, etc., etc. I got a track, for example, with Cenex Beats called Automatic that made €1. And then you have like for every track. So some track, of course, will do more. For example, I got my track Bien Plus Fort Que Mes Mots that I wrote and composed by Mark G. This one made €83 the last 3 months. So it means that I got €83 and Mark G also got €83. My money came to SPA. His money went to ASCAP because he lives in the US. And then I got Bounce Baby that I wrote in 1997 that brought for €50 and etc. And then listen, I have, so if I show you just a little bit of it, the list is huge because I have so many songs. I have songs and songs and songs and songs and songs. Oh, what happened? Oh, Facebook is dead. Facebook love to die on us. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to only streaming on YouTube. Everybody else pisses me off. So yeah, so you see, you got songs and songs and songs and songs, and then Of course, some songs will bring you more than others. So, for example, you also have the execution rights, so radio rights, TV, for example. So I got a track on a Portuguese television called RTP Memoria. I can see that there's a television show called So Visto that I have no idea what it is. This brought me some money because a song called Pared that I wrote for Buraca Sound System, this song had played on that show. For example, I got a song called Por Mim from Rita Guerra that played in a novela here in Portugal called Quero e Viver. And he played in episode 295, 296, 297, 298, 300. Plays in every episode. So I'm not sure if it's a TV show or it's a novella. I'm not sure. And then I can know exactly when it got played on every channel. I receive so I can show you a little bit. So you see, I can see SIC is RTP is a Portuguese TV. SIC is another TV station. TVI is another TV station. And this is the name of the show where this song played. And you can see that every time it plays, I make some money. And this is my part. So I think I have 20% of that song because I did all the melodies in that song. And then in some reality show, etc. So normally the role of your publisher is to make sure that you receive all this money. So you also have, for example, I can also see, for example, here you go. Here, for example, you can see that Blaya, she did a show. She did some show somewhere. I'm not, and so Comba from Buraca Sound Sistema, Nelson Freitas live at Coliseu, and others. I make money from that because every time they do shows, I make money from the songs I did for them. So when an artist do a show, they will give the set list of all the songs that they will play in the big show. The SPA, which is the Portuguese Collecting Society, will say, okay, listen, you have 10,000 people here, so you have to pay, 20 cents of copyright for every person that's here. So you have 10,000 people, you have to give us 2,000 people so we can authorize you to play music in the arena. So they send that money, and now every song that will be played that night of the show will have a part of the 2,000. So let's say the show, they do 10 songs. So every song will generate 200 euros. So let's say I have one song that I wrote for somebody here, and in that song I make 33%. I will have 33% of 200 euros. That's how it works. So for example, you can see here that for example, you have Deeper. This is a song I composed for Nelson Freitas, and he played it live at Coliseu do Recreios. So in this one, I take 75% of the song because I composed the song, I did the beat, but I also rap on the song. So I take, as a composer, I take 50% of the song, but as a writer, I take 25%, and Nelson Freitas take 25%. So I have 75% of Deeper. So every time Nelson Freitas sings Deeper in a club, in a concert, or he plays on TV, anywhere, I take 75% of the intellectual rights generated by this song, like you can see here. You have Blaya, for example. The song Dilemma is a song that I did, I co-wrote with her. And so you can see that I don't know where she performed it, but I make 25% of the money from this show. Same thing for Comba from Buraca Son Sistema, Querido Samba, from Blaya, Sabj de Blaya, Vena Vibe. All these songs are songs that I helped compose. You can even see here in Portugal. So I don't have like the exact here, because there's so many pages that you have to really take the time to look at. But you can even see what show and where, like what festival and how much money it made you. So listen, if you have a song that you do for an artist, and this artist does like big festivals with like 100,000 people, and if that person does this all the time, your song can generate millions just from writing it. That's what I had, for example, with On a changé from Les DS. This song generated more than €1 million. And because I had 25% from me and 25% for my publisher, 25 for the writers, and 25 for Sony Music Publishing, this million got divided by 4, and I had 250. And I did nothing. I made the music, but once the music is made, I was just there at home. I was doing my shows, I was doing my thing, but at a point when I received my 250, I was like, yo, I make more money than if I go out of my house 50 weeks in a row and go get paid 1,000 or 2,000 euros to do shows. I made more money from that song. And that's when I was like, yo, there's actually a lot of money when you can protect your music. And so that is very, very important to protect your music. So and then the rest of the food chain, because it's been an hour, I'm about to finish this show. And before I finish the show, if you have any question, please put them in the chat. Before I finish, in the food chain, you also have other parts that are very important, like management. So a manager, an agent, booker, booking agent. Sometimes all this is one person, but it's better when it's different people. But it depends of the size of your market. When you have a small market, you cannot pay all these people because everybody's going to take a percentage of everything. But normally a manager is somebody who oversees your career, helps you make the decisions, maybe go talk to the label for you. And when the label give you a contract, they will help you read the contract, negotiate for you, etc. They're going to be the interface between you and the label. So that's a manager. Maybe find you a sponsor, find you maybe other artists to work with, etc. That's the goal of a manager. So me, I had only one manager in my career for 20 years, Guylaine Cléry. She's amazing. You have a booking agent. So my manager was my booking agent as well, but I also have multiple booking agents. So a booking agent is somebody who will find you shows in a wedding, shows in a club, shows in a festival. That's the booking agent. Their goal is to talk to the people who organize shows, and these people, that person will negotiate, right? They will negotiate and negotiate how much you get paid, and they get a percentage of every show you do. So, and then you have in the people that can accompany you, you can also have lawyers, of course, who can help you read the contract, but this is somebody you can pay. You have lawyers that are specialized in music business, which is better. Who else is in the food chain of music? I think I made the whole thing. I think it's important to do a whole episode about management, because the problem of a lot of artists is that they don't have good managers. They have horrible managers, or they don't have managers, or the manager that are their friends and they're not serving their interest. I think it's important to choose well the people that will be between you and the people you talk to. in terms of management. Um, who else? I know I was somebody, and of course the clubs. Oh, listen, I forgot two people: the clubs and the DJs, because the ecosystem needs people to play the music in the clubs, and they need to play the music in the clubs. So you need the DJs, you need somebody that, and usually it's the record label or your management or yourself. You need people to give your music to the DJs, and if the DJ plays your song in the club, the people who go to the club after the club, they go back home and they go stream your songs. So that's very important. Radio, music, clubs, and so the club owners also are super important, because they are the ones who will speak to your booking agent to bring you to the club to go perform the songs live or playback, and make money from these performances and generate copyright money from the writers and the composers. Another set of rights that people forget a lot, before I go to your questions, is the rights of musicians. Let's say somebody plays saxophone on your song. Maybe they don't have rights to composition, because you made your song already, it's finished, and they came to augment it with some saxophone or some guitar. But these people also have some rights, and it's called, in France it's called, no, sorry, in Portugal it's called GDA, and in France it's called Adami, and in the US it's called Sound Exchange. I mean, it depends from country to country. And what they do is, when there's a song that generates money, there's always a part that is reserved for every person. So let's say you have a chorus, for example, a chorus that just come to do the chorus of your song. That person has to register at GDA in Portugal, or Adami in France, or Sound Exchange, and they say, hey, in that song I did the chorus, and they will get some money. So I know two girls, they did a chorus for David Guetta, and they made a ton of money. Like, I forgot, I don't remember what song. And they also did a song for Bob Sinclair, I think. Again, I don't remember what song, but that was already like 15 years ago. But they made a ton of money just from Adami. That was like, oh yeah, you did the chorus, or you did the conga on a song, or you did some guitars on a song, or you played the keyboards on a song. These are rights that you can also register, because that money exists. Like, every time a song is played somewhere, there's money made from the mechanical, which is sales of songs or streams, publishing, which is intellectual rights, but there's also recording rights, if I can call them, or rights for the musicians that played on the song, that play the guitars, play the keyboards, play the drums, etc. Everybody, whenever you do a song, you actually have to register your song to all these people. And the worst thing artists do, in my experience, is that they tend to forget to record to register their songs to all these services. Whenever I do an album, what I do is I take a Sunday or a Monday or a week, and I go and I register every song. So, and nowadays, listen, in the world of digital, it's not hard to register songs. You can do everything online now. So, you put the MP3s of all your song, prepare all the lyrics as PDF, and then send everything to SPA, SACEM, etc. So you just need to send to one, and then every week they all take all their databases and they all synchronize every song from everybody. So that's the food chain of music. And listen, the money is not in the singing. The money is actually in the publishing and in the copyright. If you own a song, Every time it plays somewhere, the streams, etc., you make more money than if you're a singer. And that's something I realized years and years and years ago. And so me, it's different. I'm very different from lots of artists because I'm a rapper, singer, producer, composer, writer, publisher, and right owner, copyright owner. And I also, in a lot of my songs, I own 100% or 50% of the GDA as well. So I get paid by Sound Exchange, I get paid by SPA, SACEM, I get paid by Spotify, etc. And so last person that is very, very important nowadays in the digital world is the distributor. Because back in the days, you had your factory that will build your CDs, and these CD would be sent to the stores, and this has been replaced by digital distributors. So you have DistroKid, you have Believe, you have the Orchard, you have listen, there's a million of them, CD Baby, and these distributions, what they do is you send them your masters, so your songs, your finished song, and they will send it to Spotify, Apple Music, etc. And when the streaming service play your music, or on YouTube when your music is played, and they pay the distribution, and the distribution pays you directly. So this is also a big part, and you have to choose wisely your distributor. Distributor is very important as well. So yeah, this is like the an overview, because we can spend hours talking about every part, but hopefully, I hope, and put me some rainbows in the chat if this help you as a creator, or just as somebody who's interested in understanding the whole landscape of and the whole ecosystem of the music food chain. Phew. I should have made some points and notes, because just this by so, all right, let me look at a few of your Master Mountain of Inspiration. What up, cuz? I hope you're doing good. Master Electronic is saying, is it possible for the producer to compete against the AI? I suggest you train your own model to test the Llama AI. Yes. Listen, I already test the Llama AI. I test AI music production. It's very interesting. It can speed up your production for people like me who produce fast already. I can do a whole beat in 30 minutes. So with AI, I can do an instrumental and instrumental and lyrics. Actually, with AI, I could do the whole thing in 15 minutes. So it's a great productivity tool for me. But I'm fast already. But yeah, listen, when you don't have an idea and you're looking for maybe something to start, AI can really do wonders. But for now, they're still working on it. But listen, as you can see with drawings and photography, for now, music done by AI, I can hear it. That is not natural. But listen, these go so fast that they will create music that really sounds real very fast. So as always, adapt or perish. Muna's Music is saying, in Mozambique, we don't have a copyright society. Let me check it out. Mozambique Copyright Society. This is not true. You see, this is the real problem of a lot of artists. They don't know. And listen, when I came to Portugal, right? The first time I came to Portugal, I remember I remember talking to what's their name? I remember talking to a few artists here and telling them, "Hey, what's the SACEM here?" And everybody was telling me, "Oh, it's the it's SPA, but it doesn't work. You don't make money." I was like, "What you mean you don't make money?" And they were like, "Yeah, yeah, you don't make money. They only give money to Tony Carrera." I was like, "Huh? Who's Tony Carrera?" "Oh, he's a big artist here, and yeah, they only give money to big artists." I was like, "Yeah." Listen, you know what I did? I decided to go to the Portuguese company society called SPA and just register myself. I registered and I said, okay, I'm going to try for 1 year. And listen, the money I used to make in France, I make the same money here. So it works. The only difference is if people don't register, the SPA don't know you exist. So in Mozambique, apparently there's the SOMAS, Associação Mozambicana de Autores. Okay. SOMAS has a vocation, the defense of rights of authors through a system of collective management. But the problem in Africa in general, because we have the same one in Congo, is you have companies, but most of them don't really work right because most of the people who do shows, they don't pay. So I'm not sure how this one work, but I can see here that in Mozambique you have, in 2017 you have the SOMAS. Let me see what they say about it. Mozambique Intellectual Property Help Desk. IP country Mozambique. Let me see. Where do I see it? SOMAS. Okay. Mozambique. Collecting Society Database. Mozambique. The collection society in this territory is SOMAS, Sociedade Mozambicana de Autores. CMO, they collect performance royalties and mechanical royalties at this time. Okay. You can also, I think they also work with the SPA. But yeah, in Mozambique, you have to check for SOMAS. That's the one who are the copyright society in Mozambique. So there you go. Now you know. Oh, shoot. I did something that is not smart. And now, I don't know how I'm gonna... Wait. Scenes, camera effect, program, scenes. There you go. So yeah. Another thing you can do if you're in Mozambique and you're not sure about your own collecting society, you can work with SPA, because I know that SPA work hand in hand with the PALOP system. So a lot of Angolan artists and Mozambican artists that I know, for example, they work with SPA directly, because you don't have to be French to be at SACEM, or to be at ASCAP. You can be in any collecting society you want. So whenever you come to Portugal, or maybe via email, and you can be registered to SPA, the Portuguese one. And once you register, you can just go to the website and submit your songs. Everything is done online today. So, Urban Sweet Spot. Which platforms do you get the most streams? It depends from artist to artist. But if you want to talk about me, I make around 140,000 streams every day, and the biggest platforms. Let me look at my analytics, so you can see here. All right, here you can see from my distribution. So last month, the month before, I had 4 million streams. This month it went down a bit. I have 3.8 million streams. And the biggest platform is Spotify. 63% of my stream come from Spotify. A lot of people coming from TikTok. And something going on. The second biggest is Apple Music with 23%. After that is 5% for Deezer. Amazon is another 5. And then everything else. So there's a lot of, I think I can see the top stores here. So you see Spotify 1, Apple Music, Deezer, Amazon, iTunes, Napster, VKontakte, that's the Russian one, because I have a lot of people listening to me in Kazakhstan and these places. Then Beatport, TrackSource, Savin, I think this is, I think it's Indian, I'm not sure. QQ Music, that's Chinese. And then Boom, I have no idea who are all these ones, but that's my top 15 streaming platforms. On a changé les DS et sur ta propre chaîne YouTube. Pourquoi as-tu fait autre chose que composer la musique? Alors, I'm going to reply in English for everybody else. I hope you understand English. So he's asking if why the music video for Les DS is on my YouTube channel. So I got paid to create this album, but at that time I was one of the only African artists and even French artists to have a YouTube channel with monetization. So when we did this album, because it was a Zouk album, the producer, the owner of the label, so Womb label, they asked me to put the video in my channel because my channel had way more viewers at the time, and then that's why the song is on my channel. It's the same thing for Judge first music video, Close Your Eyes. I mean second music video, but his first as an adult. Close Your Eyes is also on my music channel. It was the same thing. It was because at the time my channel was big, and it was the best way to push the song, and because and yeah. And listen, it's also sometimes it's a great deal. Imagine you don't have money. So it has nothing to do with this, but imagine if you don't have enough money to pay for your music video. You can tell somebody who has a big channel, or just somebody who makes music video, you give me a video for free and you put it on your channel. You monetize on your channel. You make money from the video on your channel. And in exchange, I have a video for free. This is a good exchange that I don't understand why people don't do this more. But yeah. Dalia MTV, what up? All right. Well, listen, an hour and a half talking about business. Oof. We're gonna go back to our. Listen, we're gonna talk more about business this year. I also have I want to talk about branding soon. And next week, I mean this week, Wednesday, we probably gonna talk about a few things here and there. And we're gonna have a guest soon. I wanted to have a guest today, but I didn't hear from her, so probably we'll do it this week on or Sunday. But yeah, listen. I think this was a great show. If you have more questions, don't hesitate. You can send me your question on Instagram or by email, or you can just put them in the comments below this video as soon as the live is over. And I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did enjoy, and if you did learn something, or you have more questions and stuff, you can, as I said, ask your questions in the comment or send me a private message on Instagram. This show is brought to you by Shada, Gods of Good Fortune. Thanks to our stream royalty, Leah, and thanks to all our sponsors. Salam alaikum, Fati. I will. I'm gonna leave you with. I'm gonna leave you with a track from my latest album. So listen, we're gonna do a listening party. Listen, maybe not Wednesday because I have some subjects that I need to clear, but maybe I'll do it Tuesday. And you know what? Maybe I'll do it Tuesday afternoon for me. I'm going to see because I might be free Tuesday afternoon. And in 6 days, I'm going to Spain. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to stream Sunday because I'll be in Spain. But listen, yeah. We'll see when we do it. I might just do it during tomorrow or Tuesday during the afternoon, while my daughter is at school. So I'm gonna leave you with one track from my brand new album. So listen, this is an instrumental album that just came out Friday, and I'm gonna have another instrumental. No, I'm gonna have a whole full album coming out next month. But for now, let me put the cover art for you to check it out, and you can go check it all in all the platforms. So it's called Little Indian Bar. There it is. And I'm gonna play you as we enter listening mode. I'm gonna play you the first track called Blessed Girl. So you have to know that this instrumental is an instrumental that I did probably in 1999. Blessed Girl. And listen, blessings to everybody. Dalia MTV, I'm waiting for the show to return so I can be invited. And or I can invite you because it's been a long time you haven't been here. Anyway, this is Blessed Girl from Little Indian Bar. See you Wednesday. Peace.